Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and just have a little wriggle about. Just make sure that you're feeling, sorry, it's in the way, you're feeling even at the seat bones. Just spend a moment just observing how you are sitting. Keep your eyes open initially, just looking down at the floor. And just spend a moment or two just observing, just listening to your breath. Focusing on the rise and the fall of the chest as you inhale and exhale. Draw your attention into the skin. Draw your attention into the seat bones. Do they feel balanced? If they don't, just adjust a little. Maybe roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the side. Just feel that you create perfect balance at the seat bones. Elevate the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down, and then bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. Lengthen from the elbows into the heels of the hands, and from the heels of the hands into the fingertips. Continue to inhale and exhale consciously, evenly into both lungs. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Maintain the consciousness of your balance. When you close your eyes, maybe you discover that perhaps after all you weren't sitting evenly. So just make some micro adjustments or some large adjustments. And then draw your attention into a balanced breath, balanced on both sides of the lungs. So you fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. And you exhale from the top of the lungs to the bottom. Breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. Just observing the balance of the seat bones and the balance of the breath. Drawing your attention into the physical body so that you can feel the body in the space around you. Feel your body in time, space. Gently draw your chin down to meet your chest. Consciously lifting the chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to just generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something, or someone, or somewhere. hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Connecting the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom and peacefulness that you can carry into your practice as an intention. Wisdom and peacefulness and physical intelligence. Raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open, and then hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, connect the palms of the hands into the knees. Feel that the palms connect to the skin, and pull on the knees to elevate the heart area, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation and then release the knees and turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across. Just observe body's resistance, your body's freedom, balance of the seat bones, balance of the feet. If you find that you become unbalanced, as in maybe you bring more weight onto the right seat bone than the left, then remedy it by drawing the torso between the two hips so that the hips become light and balanced. Use the out breath to intensify the turn. Come back to the center. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left, digging the back hand into the floor so that you maintain your position on the front edge of the seat bones. Turn the abdomen and the ribs and the shoulders. Soften the jaw and the tongue and the throat. And then just gently come back to the center. Come off your lift and then sit yourself back on your heels. Just allow the shins to mould into the floor. Sometimes there's resistance initially, isn't there? And that can be nice. It can be uncomfortable, but just allow the legs to relax into the floor. Let the shins mould themselves into the floor, and then consciously push the shin bone into the shin skin. Pushing the shins firmly into the floor so that the thighs activate. When the thighs activate, you can activate the spine, elevating the heart area upwards and then come forwards, keeping the seat bones down on the heels as much as you possibly can. Spread the palms and then come down into Adho Mukha Virasana. Just feeling that openness in the lower back, pushing the seat bones down on the heels, pushing the hands into the floor in order to gain traction between the seat bones and the heels. I don't think traction is the right word, but connection. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Or if you're not doing dog down, do dandasana or saptabhadikkanasana. So dandasana, your legs on the floor, spine extending away from the floor. With both poses, press the fronts of the legs through to the backs of the legs. Lift the seat bones away from the heels of the feet. And listen to the palms of the hands pressing into the mat. I don't mean that by it's creating noise, that would be a very strange thing indeed. But when I say listen, I mean just feel the pose. Feel what the arms and the legs and the skin and the breath are doing. Press the knuckles into the floor, the finger knuckles. Press the fingers into the floor. Stretch the fingers away from the palms. And then gently come forwards and then have some blocks for your hands. And then bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. Carefully aligning the edge of your feet with the edge of the mat so that the toes are closer together than your heels. Have your hands on your hips initially, tighten the kneecaps. Hit the thighs into the backs, the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Elevate the heart area upwards and then raise your arms. Have your arms wide initially. Lifting the heart area. Presenting the heart area to the skies. It's a really good pose for positive thinking. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips, keeping the arms outstretched. If you've got a bad back, you can bring your hands onto your hips. And then find the blocks. So don't be in a rush to go down to the floor. Just feel where your body is with the hands on the blocks, tightening your kneecaps, pushing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees, turning the fronts of your thighs inwards, the backs of your thighs outwards, and then picking up the seat bones away from the backs of the heels. If you can go down and lower, then do. But not at the expense of losing extension in the legs or in the spine. Keep extending the spine forwards, concaving in the shoulder blade region. If you can go down lower, then do, but again, not at the expense of losing the extension of the spine, not at the expense of losing the weight in the heels. So as you come down lower, maybe you come forwards, maybe your weight goes into your toes, maybe your heels become lighter. So if that happens, then keep your legs straight, keep the kneecaps tight, and keep the thighs activated, and hit the shins back so that your weight goes into your heels, really consciously into your heels. You have to walk your hands back a little bit, and then project the chin and the chest forwards. Feel like your legs are a single limb without the kneecap. Feel that they are just a single bone with no knees to bend. Okay, bring your hands into your hips and then come up into the standing position. Bring your feet together, the inner edge of your feet together. Big toes touching, heels touching, and then come into Tadasana. Lift up into the chest. Feel that your weight is in your heels. Lift up into the heart area. Turn the palms all the way out. Lengthening the shoulders away from your ears. Just feel that you are connected to the ground from the feet, and that you are turning the fronts of the shins inwards, turning the inner knees inwards, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, pressing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, and hitting the thighs back so that your weight goes into your heels. Turn the tailbone inwards. Draw the abdomen to the spine, lift up into the heart area, lengthen from the shoulders into the palms, into the fingers, lengthen from the neck into the head. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump. Nice and wide, turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, and then bring the hips back to face the front. Spread your toes, extend into your arms, and then hinging at the hips, come down, find the shin, look up to the top hand. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Visualize where your feet are, where your hips are, where your spine is, where your head is. Turn the abdomen up to the ceiling. Try and get the hips, especially that front leg hip, in line with the front heel. So squeeze it forwards a little. Keep the back leg hitting towards the wall behind you. Draw the abdomen from the floor to the ceiling. Reach up into that top arm. Spread the fingers, spread the palms. Activate that back leg so that the front leg isn't taking all of the weight. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out, and then come over to the other side. Feeling that the front leg heel, the left heel, is in line with the instep or the toes of the back leg. Feeling that the feet make really good contact with the floor and suck the energy out of the feet up into the hips, up into the spine, into the arms. Using all of those same instructions from the other side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then reach up, come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step, jump the feet back together, back into Tadasana. Just use the moment to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Soften the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Feel the heartbeat. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet apart. Just bring your hands onto your hips for a moment. Turn your left toes in steeply and turn on the right foot. Just rotate on the heel. And then swing the hips to face this right leg side. Now at this stage, maybe the hips don't feel level, and they need to. So the easiest way to level out the hips is to activate this back leg, turn this front thigh inwards. However, sometimes that doesn't work. So sometimes you've got to pick up the heel of that back leg and turn it all the way out so that your feet would be like in Tadasana. And then bring the heel back down. Keep turning this back leg from the little toe side to the big toe side. Lift up into the chest. Elevate from the abdomen to the diaphragm to the collarbone to the chin. So we're going to keep this back leg straight. We're going to raise our arms up, and we're going to bend the front knee into a right angle. Virabhadrasana 1. I want you to keep that back leg dead straight, tightened at the kneecap, and feel that opening of the front of the hip of that back leg. Feel like you can lengthen from the hip up into the abdomen, up into the armpits, from the hip down into the kneecap, down into the heel. Find a right angle. Push into the heel of that back leg. Just look forwards, or you can look up. And then come back to the centre. Just have your hands on your hips for a moment. Just get your breath. And then turn the right toes in. Turn the left leg and foot all the way out. And then swing the hips to be parallel with the end excuse me, of your mat. Pick up the heel of that back leg, turn it out and bring the heel down. Feel that the hips are level with each other. Tighten the kneecap deeply of that front leg. Lengthen from this front hip down into the thigh, down into the kneecap. Lengthen from here up into the abdomen. Raise your arms up, keep that back leg rod straight, and then find a right angle. Maybe you have to creep that foot away a little to find that right angle. Maybe the heel of the back leg lifts. That's okay as long as you keep the leg straight. Breathing from the hips up into the armpits, reaching up into the spine. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And come back to the centre. And bring the feet, jump or step the feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Observe your breath. Maybe your body needs more air. So provide that with long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. And then come down onto all fours. Have your hands shoulder width apart. Step back. Have your feet turned, your toes turned under, and then come up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Draw the abdomen towards the spine. Lift the seat bones towards the ceiling. Draw the heels a little closer to the floor, but resist bringing them all the way down. The barometer for how low you can bring your legs is at the front of the ankles. As soon as you start seeing wrinkles appearing between the heel and the ankles, like I'm showing you now, then you've gone too far. So just go all the way up, back up into the heels. And try and lift the shin skin up to the kneecaps. And then just bring the heels down until those creases appear. And then come down onto the tops of your feet, come down onto your knees. And then spend a moment just to observe your energy, feeling the shins in contact with the ground, feeling the air in contact with the skin. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, you're going to come down onto your front for bhujangasana. So be on your elbows and have the palms flat into the floor initially. Just have your elbows underneath your shoulders and just spread the palms. So for any kind of back bending pose, the protection for your back comes from the legs. So pick up the whole of one of the legs, turn it inwards, turn the front of the thigh inwards, so the back of the thigh broadens outwards, and then bring the foot down. Do the same with the other leg. Lift the leg, turn the front of the thigh inwards so that the back of the thigh broadens outwards. Try and maintain that action, and then push the tops of the feet into the floor. Tighten the kneecaps, and then lift up into the chest. So just this crocodile pose to begin with. Activating the legs, tightening the kneecaps, lengthening the tailbone away from the sacrum, lengthening the abdomen up into the collarbone. And then bring your hands back so that your hands are underneath your shoulders. Keep your pelvis down on the floor and just push yourself up into what some call the cobra, but bhujangasana. Push the hands into the floor. Keep the pelvis on the floor. That's the essential thing. Lift from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin, keeping the shoulders down. You don't necessarily straighten your arms. Drive the chin to the ceiling if it doesn't make you feel, it doesn't do anything to your breath. And then come down. Just rest your head on one side, rest your arms to the side of the body, and then release into the floor. So if this pose causes any kind of discomfort in the lower back, then the important thing is to turn the tailbone in, almost to grind the tailbone down into the floor. So just come back up onto your elbows, just re-prepare your legs, just re-access the legs, pick up the whole of the leg, turn the front of the thigh inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Now that action is important for a number of reasons, but the main reason is that if you turn your legs the other way round, it makes you clench your buttocks. If you turn the fronts of the thighs outwards, you clench your buttocks. If you turn the fronts of the thighs consciously inwards, it broadens the buttocks and it keeps them a little softer. So if you can feel that in your back, you've got to lengthen the tailbone away from the lumbar. You've got to turn the tailbone down towards the floor, almost kind of grinding the pelvis into the floor without kind of over clenching the buttocks if you can. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and then keep grinding that tailbone into the floor if it provides discomfort for your back. Tailbone into the floor, keep the legs really firmly active, pushing the tops of the toes into the floor, lifting the kneecaps, and then lift the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin, drawing the shoulders away from your ears. And then gently come down, just rest your head on the other side and allow the body to release into the floor. Okay, and then when you've recovered, just come back up onto your elbows for a moment. So the next pose we're going to do is called makarasana, and this kind of really engages the core muscles. So I'll show you first. So you start off in a similar way to bhujangasana. You can really activate those legs. You lengthen into the toes. You press the tops of the toes into the floor. You tighten the kneecaps. But then you're going to interlock your fingers and bring the base of the hands into the base of the skull. And then the action is to lift the thighs off the floor and then extend from the armpits into the elbows, lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling. So you push your head into your hands, keep that tailbone turning in deeply, but lift the thighs off the floor. And then come down. So this can be quite strong in your back. So if you're a little bit nervous with your back, what I can do if I was in the room, I could come and lengthen it out for you. I could get hold of that lower back area and lengthen it down. It's difficult to do that for yourself, so you can do bhujangasana if this looks like it might be too much for your back. Otherwise, just get yourself ready. So lengthen into the legs, really lengthen those toes, point into the toes, tighten the kneecaps, and then walk your elbows away, interlock the fingers, and then bring the base of the skull into your hands. So bring the base of the skull into your hands. And then lift the thighs off the floor, keep the legs straight, and then lift the elbows away from the floor. Don't have them wide, have them shoulder width apart. And then lengthen from the armpits into the elbows. Okay, and then release. Just relax and release. Just flop into the floor for a moment. Okay, just don't do it again yet. Let me show you. There's a little technique thing. Okay, so just be on your elbows for a moment. If in this pose you have your elbows wide like this, the action is actually to pull your head down towards the floor. So that kind of becomes really heavy and it becomes really difficult to lift. So you've got, ideally you bring the elbows kind of shoulder width apart, and then the action is to lift from the armpits into the elbows. So if you have the elbows too wide apart, then it's really hard. You've got to keep the elbows shoulder width apart, and then it's easier to lift. So one more time, just see if you can work those elbows so that they're not wide apart, because that's kind of counteractive. So just come onto the floor, lift the thighs off the floor, keep the legs straight, point into the toes. Bring your elbows a bit closer together, Ruth, and then lengthen from the armpits into the elbows. That's it, cat, that's it. Okay, smile. And then gently release, just gently release down onto the floor. Let your head lay on one side, and then completely release your arms down into the floor. And then when you're ready, sit back on your heels and then come forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. Just turning the tailbone in, down towards the heels as much as you can. Okay, and then just sit back on your heels. And then just quietly observe the energy you have released through your practice so far. Just sit yourself in cross legs. Just hold onto your knees, just feel that you provide levelness under the seat bones. Elevate the heart area and then turn to the right. Just draw your abdomen from the left to the right. Dig in the backhand firmly into the floor so that you maintain the levelness of the seat bones, so you maintain the position on the front edge of the seat bones. Come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees and then turn to the left, drawing the abdomen across. The ribs and the shoulders just keeping the head looking forwards. And then gently come back to the centre. Come down onto your back. And then just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a gentle massage on the spine. Get hold of the outside edge of your feet. Have your feet apart and then again rock side to side, from top to bottom. And just massage the spine on the floor in happy baby. And then get hold of the edges of the mat, keep your knees bent, and then lengthen the legs up towards the ceiling. Press in the feet towards the sky. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Viparita, karanhi, just a gentle inversion. Feel that the sacrum connects to the ground. The tailbone lengthens down into the floor, lifting from the backs of the legs up into the knees, up into the calves, up into the heels. Keep turning the fronts of the legs inwards like you were doing in the back bending poses. Okay, and then just bend your knees, bring your feet down onto the floor. Just have the last little wriggle about on your back, holding your knees. And then get a blanket for your head. And then just guide yourself down the center of your mat. Stretch your arms, just relax your arms out at the sides of the body so that there's a little space in the armpit chest. And allow the body to completely relax, let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs, unhook them, and allow the body to become heavy on the ground. That heaviness is an essential role in recognizing your energy. So allow the body to become heavy. Observe the heaviness of the limbs. And when you give in to that heaviness, perhaps you acknowledge a sensation of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones. Energetic lightness radiating from the bones into the muscles, into the organs. Into the organs and flesh and skin, which of course are also organs. Use your breath to draw your energy into the toes and into the legs, into the arms and into the fingers and all the way up into the top of the head. basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock, just reacquainting the body with the ground and the room around you. And then roll onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Draw your breath into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And then very gently release the chin down to meet the chest. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude. And then send some of that gratitude out into the world. Sending your positive energy out into the world, to people, to places, to things that need our positive energy. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Hopefully you feel like you've really woken yourself up and you've given yourself good energy.